Hi, my name is Rachel Paxton, and today I'm going to show you how to can mint jelly. In this class, I'll show you how to can mint jelly. I'll walk you through the process step by step. I'll give you the recipe and canning supply list you can download and print out for future reference. You'll find these in your course materials. You'll also gain the confidence you need to try more canning recipes on your own. My name is Rachel Paxton. I'm a freelance writer and a mom of 5 children, ages 28 to 6. I've been canning for more than 20 years, and I'm the owner of the website creativehomemaking.com. For this recipe, you're going to need 2 cups of fresh spearmint leaves, 4 cups of water, 5 cups of sugar, a box of powdered pectin, and green food coloring is optional. You're going to need a boiling water canner, a canning rack if you're using your own stock pot, a fine mesh sieve, a jar lifter, a wide mouth funnel, and 3 pint or 6 half-pint canning jars. This is what a boiling water canner looks like. If you don't already have one, you can use a large stock pot to can if you have a canning rack to put in the bottom of it. But these are about $30 on Amazon, and it comes with the jar lifter and funnel, so it's a pretty good deal. There's a link to this and the supply list in your course materials if you need to order one. So this is what you need to process your jars in. This is what the canning rack looks like. It comes with the boiling water canner, but you can buy one of these for about $10 and place it in the bottom of a large stock pot if you want to use that to can. This is what a fine mesh strainer looks like. It's the little strainer that's sitting on top of the measuring cup. You can use a jelly bag for this recipe, but I didn't find that that was necessary. If you have a strainer like this that has the very fine mesh, it will do just fine straining your liquid for you. These are very inexpensive. You should be able to find them at Walmart, and there's also a link to it on your supply list in your course materials. You need a jar lifter and a wide mouth funnel. First thing you need to do is fill your canner about 3/4 the way with water and get the water boiling. You also need to sterilize your jars, rings, and lids in the dishwasher. If you don't have a dishwasher, you can boil them in water on the stove, but it's easier to do it in the dishwasher. First, you want to place your washed, chopped spearmint leaves in water in a stock pot and bring to a boil. It doesn't need to be a certain amount of water, just make sure that the leaves are slightly covered with water. The reason that you want to chop the spearmint leaves, and probably even a little more than I did in this photo, is because the oils that are in the leaves come out better when they're chopped. If you just leave the leaves whole, you're not going to get as much of the essence of the spearmint out of the leaves. So that is why you want to chop them. And you want to bring the water to a boil, and as soon as the water starts boiling, you can remove the pan from the heat, and you want to let this sit for about 10 minutes. This is the same process that you would go through if you were making tea. So after it's set for 10 minutes, you want to strain the leaves out of your liquid. So I did that by using this fine mesh strainer and poured the liquid through it. And this is what I ended up with. This is what color your jelly will be if you don't add food coloring to it. So if you would like your mint jelly to be green, you need to add some food coloring. You can add as much or as little as you want to get the color that you want. You also need to have 4 cups of liquid to make the jelly. So if you don't have enough liquid left over from the pan, then you need to add water to make 4 cups. Next, place the liquid in your stock pot and stir in the pectin and bring it to a boil. Next, you want to pour the sugar in all at once. It's always a good idea to have your sugar measured out ahead of time and all at one time. If you try to measure it into the pan as you're making it, you will lose track of how much sugar you put in, and it will ruin your jelly. So have your sugar all measured out and ready to pour in all at one time. You want to heat it to a boiling that cannot be stirred down. What that means is once you see it starting to boil, you want to stir it, and if the boiling stops when you stir it, then it's not hot enough yet. Let it keep boiling until when you stir it, it doesn't stop boiling, and then set the timer for 1 minute. After the minute is up, you'll see a little bit of foam on top of your liquid, so you want to take a metal spoon and just skim off the foam as best you can. The foam isn't going to hurt anything if it gets in your jar, but it just doesn't look very pretty, so scrape that off as best as you can. Next, use a ladle to ladle your jelly into your sterilized jars, leaving a 1/4 inch headspace. The headspace is the amount of space between the top of your jelly and the top of the jar, and when your jelly is processing in the boiling water, your food will expand a little bit, and you need to make sure you have the correct amount of headspace so that the food has room to expand a little bit. As you can see, there's still a little bit of bubbling on top of the jelly, but that'll be fine. If you had a bunch of foam in it, it would be in your jelly, and in this case there's just a few bubbles at the top, and that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So you want to take a damp towel and wipe the rims of your jars to make sure you get a good seal, and place the rings and lids on the jars finger tight. Place your jars in the boiling water canner. Make sure that they're covered with 1 inch of water. After the water starts boiling, you want to process them for 10 minutes. If you live above 1,000 feet in elevation, you need to process for a longer amount of time. So check your altitude adjustment chart in your course materials. After the 10 minutes is up, use your jar lifter to remove the jars and set them on the kitchen counter to cool. When the jars seal, you'll hear a pinging noise. Sometimes they seal in the canner, sometimes they seal as they cool. So usually they'll all be sealed within 10 to 15 minutes after taking them out. You know if they're sealed or not by pressing down in the center of the lid, and if the lid goes down and up again, it is not sealed. You can put it in the refrigerator and eat it later. And if the lid is flat, it is sealed and can be stored in a cool, dark area for 1 to 2 years. So that's how you make mint jelly. This is a little bit different. I think it's really good. It doesn't have a really strong flavor. It's kind of a mild mint flavor. The longer you leave your mint leaves in the hot water, the more mint flavor you'll get from this. So give it a try. See what you think. It's a good gift idea and a fun thing to try.